sports. Welcome to my gym in my home. And tonight it comes with a question. What can football teach you about network marketing? I want to talk about that. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing now for over 41 years now. Boy, time flies. And I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started. And that was 28 years ago. Put $200 into my business, been full-time ever since, love it. And if you have to work, there's no place like home. There it goes. I was trying to get that out right. But anyway, I'd like to acknowledge some great people joining us tonight. We got, we got George in New York City. Nice to see you. Flavio in Ecuador. We're going a little bit later tonight. So I was just, it's just one of those days. It's been a long day, It's amazing when you work from home in the network marketing profession, how busy you can be. It's just truly amazing. So a lot of things going on, and it's great. And I highly recommend working from home. Anyway, Rosia, nice to see you. Yeah, that's right. It's Monday night football too. Good to see you. And Jeanette, good morning. Good morning. She says good morning. So she's in the Philippines. Good to see you. And Ciro and Luz in Arizona. Arizona. You remember that song? When was that? I don't know, 60s? I think it was maybe late 60s. Anyway, popular song. Good to see you, Ciro. And who else is going to join us? We're going to get started in just a minute. I normally try to do these by 9:30, but I was in my sauna just loving it. What can I say? BB, good to see you in San Antonio, Texas. How are you doing? I hope all is well with you. And April, nice to see you. Yeah, Ohio, my home state. Got a lot of great memories on Ohio. Eden in, where are you at, Eden? You got me confused. Are you in Arizona? We had this discussion the other day. Anyway, well, that's what happens when what can I say? Randy, nice to see you in Indiana. Good to see you. How you doing? So here's the thing. What can football teach you about how to be successful in network marketing? When I talk about football, so if you're in India watching this, either now or on the replay, I'm not talking about soccer. Okay, I'm talking about American football. But I would imagine that you can find probably similar analogies that I'm going to share that could be helpful to your business. And so hopefully you get value from that. But tonight I'm talking about American football. And what can that teach you? The one thing I love about football is it's unpredictable. It's passionate. It requires hard work and discipline. It takes all of that to become a success in football. And we think about, if you want to go to the Super Bowl, that's the two best teams in the whole profession going against one another, you have to have a team made up of very hard-working, dedicated leaders. And that's what you have to have in network marketing, the same that it would take to go to the Super Bowl. Again, going back to it's unpredictable. I can remember last year when the New Orleans Saints was playing the Minnesota Vikings, and the Saints thought they had the game bagged because there was only 3 minutes left in the game. And then all of a sudden, to everyone's amazement, I don't know if you remember that, but Stephon Diggs, he ended up running a 61-yard touchdown, and it won the game. It made me think of sometimes when you get to a point in your business and you're thinking, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? When am I going to get this thing off the ground? Or it's just not, you get down, right? And then all of a sudden a miracle walks into your life. Someone joins your team and just blows it out. Yeah, I've seen it happen many times, many times. So the thing is, understand this, that in your network marketing business, you play different roles. It's also true in the football profession. There's different roles. And I want to compare those to your activities and what you're going to do if you want to build a team and go to the Super Bowl or become a success in network marketing, right? So the first is the scout. His role, the quarterback, and then finally the coach. If you want to be a success in network marketing, you'll end up playing all three of those roles. And then sometimes, as you move on to another role, you end up going back later on to the one that you left. We'll talk about that. How many of you ever saw the movie Jerry Maguire? If you saw that movie, you know what I'm talking about, because that's what Jerry was. Jerry was a scout. He looked for talent. And when he found talent, he would take that person and find a team that would be a good fit for him. So let's talk about that. That's the first role that you play, especially when you are building your business in network marketing. Whether you just got started or whether right now you're still in the process of looking for good people to join you in your business, you're playing that role called the scout. And that's what scouts do. Now, scouts go to a lot of games, right? Because they're looking for talent. When we think about that, if you want to have a great team, you've got to scout out good people. Where do you find good people? You'll find them in the most unlikely place. You can find them in Dollar General, if you know where that is in the United States. I don't know if you have a Dollar General. I live in the country, so I have one just a few miles down the road. You never know. I mean, good people are people that have influence. In other words, they've spent a lifetime of making friendships. They've done things for people. They made a lot of deposits in those relationships. And so the withdrawals come when they join you and they call their friends saying, hey, I found something, I'm excited, I want to talk to you about it. And then they say, hey, well, get the heck over here, show it to me. Or what is it? Or if they're long distance, they'll just, maybe jump on a FaceTime call, or maybe a Zoom, or if it's just the phone. But the point is, these people have influence. And so that's what a scout is looking for. The scout is looking for good people. What gets you to the Super Bowl is a great team. And that's what it's going to take. If we find a bunch of easy people, remember, easy doesn't pay. Easy will never get you to where you want to go. What gets you to where you want to go is talented, dedicated, hard-working people. That's what it is. So again, a scout is looking for what? You're looking for good people. Good people. So number two is, not only do you want to find good people, you want to find people that are ready to play. Ready to play. That means they're ready for the business. Here's the thing. I never thought, when people don't make a decision, I don't really get no's. I know you might be shocked, but I get not yets because I help them in the process. Because sometimes it's just bad timing. Sometimes they just got too much going on. I'll get back to them later. So again, you're scouting out good people, but at the same time, you'll get back to the ones that It's not yet. They're not ready. But you want to find the ones that are ready to play. They're ready. They're ready for change. Right now, you're going to find a lot of people ready because of COVID. There's so much shakeup. There's going to be so much economic destruction because of these lockdowns that we see that's going on right now, especially if you live in the United States, especially in the blue states. In the blue states, where they have a lot of massive lockdowns, it's going to just destroy the economies in that state. So the thing is, think about it, there are going to be a lot of people that were never open to maybe network marketing that are going to be totally open now, because now they're in the worst shape that they've ever been. And sometimes that's what it takes to get people teachable, to get them to look at something. I've always believed that the only people not in this business are the people that don't understand it yet. They don't understand it yet. And so the other is, regarding the scout, is you want to find people who want to win. In other words, you want to find people who are hungry. Hungry can get anything done. Hungry can run through steel walls. Hungry can do the most impossible things. Just like I talked about that, 3 minutes left in the game, and the Saints thought they had it and the Minnesota Vikings bagged it. Just like that. That's what hungry people do. They want it bad. And then you want people that show up in your business. They don't just disappear. You don't hear from them for a while. They're, every day, man, they're showing up. They're saying, hey, I found somebody who's really good. I really think they got potential. You got time to do a call? Things like that. The fourth is they're teachable. They're teachable. So they're always open to learn, and they just want to do it right. And then again, they have performance abilities. Performance abilities is simply meaning maybe they got great communication skills. You women are especially good at that. You are very good at that. You are fantastic communicators, and you have such emotional intelligence. So that's the thing. When you find people like that have great human skills, or people skills rather, those kind of people can really get things done. So that's the scout. So you want to play the scout role in scouting out those type of people and then adding them to your team. Now, what about the quarterback? So quarterback plays a whole different role, doesn't he? Quarterback is the one who calls the plays, calls the shots, right? The quarterback is the one who gets things done. So one thing I've learned from, when you watch quarterbacks, and it's true for anybody successful, if you do what they do, you will get what they get, because it's an absolute, proven, universal law of success. I learned that a long time ago. I thought, wow, why is he so successful? I wish I could be like him. I wish I had that kind of success. And so the thing is, when you talk to those people and they open up to you and you learn from them and you model what they do, yes, you get the same consequences, don't you? You get what they get. That is success, the results of success, the results of doing it right. Modeling works. I learned that a long time ago, not just in network marketing. I learned that in traditional business. And I was very hungry to learn from people. Man, you're doing really well. I just want to find out what you're doing and do what you do. And people are eager to share it. The great thing about network marketing is, it's been said that we're a pyramid, Well, I tend to agree with that. And I'm very proud of it, because philosophically, it's a better pyramid than when we look at government, when we look at corporate America. Because in government or corporate America, the one thing that they want to do is keep you down. If you threaten somebody's job, if you're more talented than someone else, and they're afraid that you're going to get their position, they're going to find a way to get rid of you. So that's what I call a disempowering pyramid. An empowering pyramid, just imagine as a pyramid how it looks. Now reverse it, where the point is touching the ground and the base is extended. All the room is at the top. Unlike the traditional pyramid, where it's a pinnacle, where only one can be up there, or just a couple, or just a few. And that's the reason why they want to own their spot, right? Reverse that pyramid. And network marketing, philosophically, it's upside down, where all the room is at the top. And you get paid to help people succeed. And you think, you pray to God, the person that you're recruiting is better than you. You better hope they're better than you. You better find people better than you. Because when you do, watch your income, watch your success, how it's going to grow. So philosophically, yes, network marketing has the most empowering work ethic, the most empowering, liberating democracy you could think of in any kind of business formula. So much success, just getting paid to help other people. So let's go back to, I didn't mean to get off on that too much, but that's so important, modeling. We're talking about modeling and finding ways to be successful. So that's what a coach is going to do, or if you want to be a good coach, is you want to just do that. You want to make sure that you're modeling people. And there's some great coaches, and you might have some great coaches and people that you think about. But let's talk about what makes a great quarterback. And I remember one time I was watching Fox News and I saw Ray Lewis, I believe was his name. He was talking about Tom Brady, and he made a statement. He said that Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback in the history of quarterbacks. Now you may agree or not agree with that. Some get really mental about Tom Brady, but I've always respected Tom Brady. But something he said after that, when he was talking about Tom Brady, he said, regarding all great quarterbacks, he said, and I'm gonna quote him, okay, because I wrote that down. He said, the great ones always figured out that the game is not as hard as others make it. That's right. He says, the great ones. He says, they figured out that the game is not as hard as others make it. You know, I always saw that when Tom Brady, when he was getting ready to make an incredible pass, and you look at his eyes, he is so laser focused. But he's not concerned either. Even if a 200-pound guy is getting ready to sack him and he's only got a few seconds left, he's totally calm about the situation. Here's a quote from Chuck Noll, and this is he was the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I love this quote. He says, if you want to win, do the ordinary things better than anyone else does them, day in and day out. I love that. He said, do the ordinary things better than anyone else does them, day in and day out. In the past, you might have heard me say that what creates momentum in your business is there I go. I'm going to get some water. It's the sauna. What creates momentum is doing those things day in, day out. Day in, day out, just like he said there. So we're talking about the basic things. The basic things. And that is just the fundamental things that you do in network marketing. You say it's boring, it's not exciting, there's nothing spectacular about this. That's right. That's right. It's not. You remember the movie Karate Kid, where Miyagi was teaching the boy karate moves, and he didn't know it because he had him waxing his cars, and he thought when he went over there that that the Grand Master was going to teach him karate, and he got fed up, and then finally he taught him. He said, make this move, make that move, and then the boy realized that the whole time he had been doing that, just teaching him karate by waxing. So wax on, wax off. You might remember those expressions. So that's the thing. Mastering the basics. That is the invitation to invite somebody. The presentation, whether you do it in person or whether you do it with a video, doesn't matter. Third, the follow-up. That is asking them how they enjoyed what they saw, any questions that they have. And then fourth, enrolling them. Those are the basics. Those are the boring things that we do every day. Monotony was the word I was looking for. See, I overworked myself in the gym. How do you create momentum? Through monotony. You create momentum through monotony. So it's just like what this head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers said. He said, if you want to win, do the ordinary things better than anyone else does them, day in, day out. Wow. So true. So true. So here's the other thing. So great quarterbacks get their people in the huddle, right? Let's talk about the huddle. Let's talk about what you talk about in the huddle. Of course, the basics are the basics, right? Number one, keep it simple. Remember, complexity is what? The enemy of duplication. Keep it simple. Like all great quarterbacks, you have to make the calls. You gotta tell your leaders what they need to do. You gotta guide them. New people come in, they just don't know. And when they don't know, they're not going to do anything. So it's so important to get them in the huddle, first of all. Here's a quote from George Allen. Now, he was the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. He was also with the Chicago Bears and with the Washington Redskins. What a career. Oh my gosh. He says, try not to do too many things at once. Know what you want. The number one thing today and tomorrow, know what you want, persevere, and get it done. So try not to do too many things at once. Know what you want. The number one thing today and tomorrow, persevere and get it done. So again, that's it. Simplicity. Again, reinforcing that. You might have an onboarding video, and just in a few minutes, you can explain to that new person what they need to do. Nothing more. Nothing more than that. All you want to do is get them to win. Get them to win means sponsoring their first distributor, or first leader, or first customer, or making their first check, or $100 maybe in the business, anything like that. Something positive that tells them what they're doing is working. Here's the other thing that you can get them to do when you got them in the huddle. Get them to do their business plan. To do their business plan. Write out their goals. What do they want to achieve? What are their dreams? Put a timeline to it. Also help them to be realistic too. It's very important, because one of the biggest negatives, I think, to the business is unrealistic expectation. Think about it. If you're going to learn how to play football and you show up for practice the first day, do you know it all? I mean, are you a pro at that point? Of course not. It's going to take time. It's going to take refinement. Again, it's going to take discipline, hard work, right? It's true in network marketing. We don't learn it all. And we don't have to know it all. We just have to know enough. And that's what we need to teach them. But get them to write out their business goals. And then keep in mind how football games are won. Very few people run 60 some yards and make a touchdown, right? That's not common. Okay, that's unusual. Okay? It's usually won 10 yards, 20 yards, a first down. And then another, 10, 20 is a second down, then finally touchdown. So it's in increments. We want our people to win in increments. Small things that we can get them to do. Again, helping them to sponsor their first person. The first week in the business would be a great thing to do. What a motivator. So again, get them to write out their business plan. What are their goals? What do they want to do? Put a timeline to it. The other thing is don't try to teach them too many products. Whatever your product line is, find your top 2 in that product line, your lead products. Help them to understand what is your company all about, because it's based on your product. So if that's true then, and if you got 100 products, you can't talk about 100 products. You'll blow them out. What are your lead products? That's what you need to focus on. Or if it's a package that you have, whatever that is, focus on that. And so here's the other thing. Don't assume that they know what you know. The curse of knowledge is the assumption that they know everything we know, and they don't. The very things that I take for granted, and I catch myself doing this all the time. Well, of course they know that. Well, Jeff, no, they don't know that. I mean, you've known that for 40 years. They don't know that. Okay. You have to assume they don't know that. So again, talk to them, help them to understand what they need to do. And if it's, for example, if it's about explaining your product, if it's a wellness product, don't get scientific. Don't get scientific. Talk about, in other words, in the old days, we used to say, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. That's what sells. In other words, a woman wants to buy a beautiful car, right? She sees this car. And then the salesman wants to talk about everything that's under the hood. Everything in there, then what it does. She don't care about that. She just wants to get in and drive the car. She wants to experience it. That's all she wants to do. And cut on the music and have a good time. It's the same is true in your business. Just understand, don't sell the science. Sell what it does. What's the problem? What problem does it solve? Or what good feeling does it give? What does it accomplish? That's what you're selling. Focus on that. And then keep in mind, when you are prospecting someone, and teach them this. Teach your leaders this in the huddle. Remember, when you're prospecting someone, you're actually training them at the same time. You're training them at the same time. In other words, whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying, that prospect is thinking, okay, this is what they want me to say, this is what they want me to do. The next thing they're going to be thinking, do I want to do this? No. Or could be, yeah, man, boy, they're good. They broke it down so simple. It's so simple. I got it. I got it means I can run with this. When they break out of the huddle, they're going to run with this. So keep it, again, sell what it does, the good it does, the good feeling that people get, the value that it gives. That's what you want to stay focused on. And then here's the other thing. When it comes to the benefits of your compensation plan, don't explain the compensation plan. Not unless they ask you. And that's going to be rare. It's not going to be often that somebody's going to say, explain to me the details of the compensation plan, okay? What you need to focus on is simply explain activity steps. Teach results that they get by actions. So if you do this, this is what you get. Just give them, again, in your onboarding, show them how they can make a couple of $100 by activity steps. What are those activity steps? You should know them well. Here's what Herm Edwards, now he was the head coach of the New York Jets, and also later he was the head coach of Kansas City Chiefs. And this is what he said. See, I got these quotes, aren't they cool? He says, stay focused. Your start does not determine how you're going to finish. Whoa, love it. I love it. I used to say that years ago, how you start is not how you finish. That's right. So that's the importance of focus. Or as Winston Churchill once said, success is never final. So you could have a great team, and in football you could be winning, but if you don't stay focused, if you have this assumption that you got it, just like the New Orleans Saints did against the Vikings, when they were only 3 minutes before the game was over, and they were already breaking out the champagne, boom, they lost the game. That's right. So that's great advice when it comes to the importance of focus, keeping your leaders. What does focus mean? Focus means that your time is going to be challenged every day. Once that time is gone, you can never get it back. Now, you can blow money, lose a lot of it. I have, okay? I can't get that money back. I can always make new money, right? You can't make new time. You can't make new time. So understand, everything's going to grab your time from the time you wake up. You got to decide where it's going to go. But it needs to go to things that grow you and grow your business. That grow you and grow your business. So personal development, fine, great. Give it some time. You need that. You can't give to others what you don't have. But then after that, when it's time to get on the field and it's time to play, then that's the time that you're going to spend either prospecting and working with your leaders. But again, in this scenario here, and I'm talking about the quarterback. So now you're actually working with people. You're not scouting. You found enough to run with. Now you got to accomplish some things in the huddle. And when the huddle breaks, then they know what to do. Most important. So, and then here's the other thing. Let's just talk about the coach now. That's the third thing, right? We talked about the scout. We talked about the quarterback. Now let's talk about the coach and the role a coach plays, because eventually that's what's going to happen with you. You're going to coach your leaders so good that they eventually And if you're thinking, well, Jeff, I'm not really good at coaching yet, that's fine. When was anybody ever good at it? And you're not going to go to a university or school to learn this stuff, okay? This is all about leadership and just taking responsibility and an interest in your leaders and then helping them. You grow as you earn. You grow as your team grows. So it doesn't happen overnight. That's okay. That's okay. But if you'll follow this pattern, you're going to be fine. So when it comes to the coach, here's the number one thing. We'll talk about a few things that coaches must become. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. What are some of the, what's the role that a coach would play? Some of the things that they would do. Number one, most important, you must believe in your players. You ever see a coach just go out on the field and scream at a quarterback? I have seen it. I don't think it's wise to publicly reprimand your quarterback. I don't think that's productive. But I'm just saying, great coaches must believe in their players. Of course, of all the great coaches, we, probably talk about or defer to Vince Lombardi, right? Now, here's a quote from Vince Lombardi, Green Bay Packers, right? He says, "Leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by hard effort, which is the price all of us must pay to achieve any goal that is worthwhile." So he understood it's a process. Developing leaders is a process. So that's number one, you must believe in your leaders. Number two, you must take time to communicate with your leaders if you're going to be a great coach. You have to communicate with them. Yes, it means picking up the phone. Call them. Have a conversation. What? A conversation? You mean talk to somebody? Yes! Do not use Facebook Messenger. You can do it. You can use it, but I'm saying you got to talk to them. You can FaceTime them. And I'll tell you what, when I talk to some people that reach out to me, even people that I don't know, I did this the other day and someone's like, "Oh, you want to Zoom? You want to Zoom, huh?" "Yeah, want to Zoom. I want to see your face when I talk to you." Okay? Talk to your leaders, okay? Communicate with them. Number three, take time to critique your leaders. If they're not having success, like I had a leader reach out to me, and she's been having the business approach, and she hasn't had success with that particular video that she's using. And then I said, "Well, you've got such a great product. Why don't you just use a product approach?" In other words, get them to see the value of your product, how great that product is, and then you can talk about the business. She said, "Okay, that's critiquing. You can try other things as well, but you need to take time to critique your leaders." And number four is support your leaders with 3-ways or Zooms. I have fun with doing Zooms. I used to in the older days. I say older days. That makes me sound old, right? Okay. I would just do 3-way calls. Now I do 3-way Zooms. What does it matter? It's just a new tool, right? The principles never change, right? Just the tools. But support your leaders with either 3-way calls or Zooms. Take time to do that. Also, Facebook Messenger chat. You can add a person in a chat. And so one of your leaders might say, "Hey, I've got some people I'm going to be reaching out to. Can I add you to a chat with them?" Absolutely. But again, don't keep it in the chat. Don't keep it in. You got to get them on. If you can't get them on a Zoom call, eventually. In other words, it can't be just endless chatting. It's time to meet. It's time to have a face-to-face conversation. It's powerful. It really is. But if you can only do it on the phone, then that's fine. Just do that. So support them that way. Number 5, create a positive atmosphere. Where you honor one another as so that they can grow. And you can do that in your Facebook groups. Make sure that you give recognition to people who are working hard. Keep in mind, companies recognize achievement ranks. Great leaders recognize effort. Companies recognize results. Great leaders recognize effort. Big difference. Do that in your Facebook groups too. That's my advice on that. And then 6 is create a team support. Where all your leaders support one another. The competition should be on the outside, not on the inside. Not in the team. That's not what you want to do. Never do that. Again, we honor anybody who makes efforts. And we want to teach our leaders to honor other leaders, support one another. And then also, here's number 7, that when they fail, when they don't reach their goals, keep in mind the goal is really not to reach the goal. It's what you become in the process of reaching toward that goal. That is the goal. I want you to think about that. The goal is not the goal. In other words, let's say that your goal was to hit this rank, but you're 2 ranks away from that. In other words, a rank between you and that one. You got close to that rank that you were shooting for, but you didn't make it. But you did achieve a new rank. Were you a failure? No. You still achieved a new rank. And you became something in the process. You learned a lot. When you were working with people, you learned a lot. And that could be, the same could be true for money. Your goal could be X amount of dollars on a specific date, but you didn't reach that point. Well, you have to console yourself. You're still making a lot more money than you were making before. And that's the thing. A lot of trainers in the past in network marketing say, if you don't hit those goals that you have, then you're a failure. No, you're not a failure. We need to eliminate that belief. That is the most unproductive thing that's ever been taught in our profession. The goal is not the goal. It's what you become in the process of moving toward that goal. That is the goal. And so when you have that attitude, look, hey, look how much I've grown. Look at my team. You know what? No problem. I'm going to hit that rank. And I knew that in my last company that I joined 22 years ago. I knew that. I knew I was going to hit the top 10. I knew I wasn't even concerned about it. I didn't hit it on the month that I was planning to. It didn't happen. I said, okay, no problem. There'll be another month. We're going to keep moving forward. That was always my attitude. And then once I hit it, I stayed. I mean, that's it. I don't even look at reports. I'm just saying that when you work that hard with your team leaders, you're that rock solid. So, but console always your leaders when they're down, console them, and always remind them that you're absolutely convinced of their value. You're convinced of their value. Look, John. Hey, man, I feel you, man. I feel you. You know what? You know what I know about you, John? You're that kind of guy. You're that kind of guy that's going to go to the top. I know that. I'm convinced of your value. See, that means everything. So that's another thing that a coach, if you're going to be a good coach, get good at doing. And then here's a quote from Bern Phillips, who was the head coach of the Houston Oilers and the New Orleans Saints. He said, "You fail all the time, but you aren't a failure until you start blaming someone else." I like that. You fail all the time, but you're not a failure until you start blaming someone else. Great quote. And then lastly here, 8, teach them how to give their best. That's the important thing. Show the reward. Just teach them how to give their best. Some people, they don't have a self-employed attitude. They've had jobs all their life, right? So it takes time to develop a discipline that, hey, you need to go down the hallway, close the door, start making some calls. That's what I did, friends. I can remember back in 1992, 1993 maybe. I worked during the day, but when I got off work, that's when I began my career. When I got home, I ate something, I'd go down the hallway, close the door, make the calls, make the appointments. And that's what I did. And I was consistent. See, I became a part-time success story. You can never be a full-time success story until you're a part-time success story. And I did it. I was consistent with it. See, you can be average, and if you're consistent, you'll be a success. You could be spectacular, and you're on and off, you don't show up enough, you will fail. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care how well you communicate. I don't care if you can dance, sing, whatever. You're not gonna go anywhere. You're not gonna go anywhere with anything. That's the thing. It's consistency. That's the key. That's the key. So think about it again as a review. Those are the 3 roles we play. And by the way, when you become a coach, I don't want you to misunderstand me on that. That doesn't mean that you won't ever have to sponsor again. Okay? I can remember Eric Worre one time when I was in Las Vegas. We were in a room with 100 people. This was the Beyond Leadership school, I guess you call it, training. And, that's what I went up and sat with him, and I think we had 100 people in the room, and he said to me, I've been watching you for a while. He said, you really have changed. You really have done a lot, And he says, here's what I want you to do now. I want you to start a whole new team. In other words, he's asking the coach to go back and be a scout. So the thing I want to say to you is that just don't get to a point in your business where you think you've arrived and you retire. Stay active in all 3 of these areas. In other words, sometimes, I'll work with leaders, and actually, they'll say, well, I have somebody. Well, that's a scout. I'll say, okay, let's talk to the person, because that's what scouts do, right? That's what they do for football, right? They see talent on the field. What do? They reach out to that person and say, hey, man, I'd like to take you to lunch. I'd like to talk to you. Okay, so that's what you play the role of a scout, either through your people, or if you need to sponsor again, go back to that Jerry Maguire role and be the scout. And if you got a new team that's emerging that you're working with, and now you're back on the field again, you're a quarterback. That's good. That's good, because you probably need to run. You probably need to get hit a little bit. That's right. You want to keep yourself fit, right, in the business, so you can keep teaching it. And then later, you'll go back to the role of coaching again. You're going to play all 3 of those roles throughout your network marketing career, as long as you're in network marketing. So I hope you got some value from this. If you did, share it to your team, because this is football season, right? And I was watching it on the treadmill too. I was watching the Steelers playing. I didn't see the outcome of the game, so I'll have to look at who won. It didn't look too good at the time, but they may have turned it around. But anyway, so share this if you got value. And then number 2, let me see. Oh yeah, my book, Reaching the Peak, is on Amazon in English and in Spanish. If you haven't got it, get it, read it, see what you think. Thank you, Eden. And a Muscle Man Mitch, he's crushing it. He's probably in the gym, man. Good to see you. Anyway, thanks for being on. I'll put out some value tomorrow. And what is today? Oh yeah, it's Monday. So I'll see you Wednesday, right? I'll put out some value tomorrow, and be back on Wednesday evening in the gym. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.